all kind of read the beats that thank you Bob and Karen for putting together, and Haley and Bob have, and I'm sorry, Haley and Steve have talked, and Steve brought a new wig and he's going to do some. Okay, we are
live on YouTube.
We're live.
We are.
See us now. Hi, people.
We are now in our session, and the opportunity to connect, the opportunity to relate, the opportunity to understand new concepts of this topic, of this week. The topic is freedom. Welcome to EITR. Dr. McFoxy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and welcome all of you. I'm so happy to see you again. Last week was our Canadian Thanksgiving, and so I'm just, it just put me in a really thankful mood for all of you.
Did you get a lot of food out of the trash can?
First of all, before we get started, Monsignor, I was wondering, sometimes I think that we sometimes need a pastoral voice in our group to help with our issues. I'm wondering if you would feel comfortable with fulfilling that role.
I'd love to. Thanks for asking. I sort of like being here and just wandering around, but I'll be a pastor whenever you want.
You're a pastor monkey?
A pastor monkey?
Is that what you are?
That's what I am. What?
I don't get it.
It's a long story.
Well, if he's a pastor, I want to be a pastor.
Yeah, I want to be a pastor, I know.
What's a pastor?
Pastor elephants.
I spend most of my day in the pasture, so you know that's almost the same thing. Yeah.
Let's ordain them all. Let's ordain them all. It'll be
I don't want to be the pastor. Too much work. People always complaining to you. Does not sound like fun to me. No, thank you.
So
well, anyway, Monsignor, I would just encourage you and invite you to just jump in whenever you see or hear a need that might need a pastoral word or a piece of encouragement.
Thanks for saying that, Ann. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I like just hearing people.
I can do that. I can jump in.
Yeah.
Who is Ann?
I don't know that.
Ann.
I don't step on people's toes.
Well, let's get started. We only
Dr.
have
McFoxy's name is Ann.
if everybody could just come together. I'm going to need everybody's attention. Okay.
Yeah,
we only have a short amount of time, like we always do. It always goes by so quickly. So let's get started. Last week, when we left when we ended our time together, one of the things that we talked about was perhaps we could talk about freedom and being free. And I'm wondering, if I posed a question, who of you are free? Dr.
I'm certainly not. I'm not at all.
I'm sorry, Dr. Cotswold.
I'm not free at all. I'm in a cage because of this virus that the person has that was teaching me to fly. And I believe that he's just faking it so he doesn't have to take care of me. And so I'm in this cage. And you know what? I don't need this right now because you ask questions. I think questions are rude. I just feel like I should be able to talk whenever I want. And I'm going to have my own Zoom stream right now where none of you are invited, and it would just
Dr.
be me
Codswallop,
without
Dr.
questions.
Dr. Codswallop.
Oh, Ronnie, I think,
hi, Birdie.
Ronnie, I think that he is left.
He is very noisy bird. He never stops squawking, so I don't mind he's gone. What were you going to say, though, Ronnie?
Well, he thinks everything's about him, that this person that takes care of him sick's only because he does want to take care of him, and he thinks he's the most important thing. He thinks everything's about him.
Now, Ronnie, I'm just
right.
going to stop you just for a moment.
Well,
okay?
she's not wrong.
Simone, I'm talking. It's very impolite for you to. It's very impolite for you.
You
to
interrupt
like
Ronnie,
that.
so I'm saying.
Maybe
Simone,
he was right because he said
it's
questions
really
are rude.
important that when someone is not here, that we don't speak negatively of them. They are not here to defend themselves or to talk about what their experience is. Dr. Codswallop is not in a place where he's able to participate, and so let's give him that space.
He needs some serious help. That's why, yes.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Doctor, if I may.
Yes, yes,
sort of,
Reginald.
that sort of does speak to our topic for the day, doesn't it? Of freedom.
It does.
We all have the freedom to participate or not participate. And so
That's very
Dr.
true.
The
Codswallop
good
is
point, Gerard.
exercising that freedom.
I don't have freedom.
You don't have freedom, Ernie? Why don't you have freedom?
Well, I kind of what Dr. Codswallop said that questions are rude sometimes, but I feel that I just want to. I get excited and I say stuff, and then you tell me to be quiet, and it hurts my feelings. And I also feel that I'm trapped. I'm trapped in a place everybody else gets to have fun, and I just am by myself with Simone sometimes.
I come to see you, make you feel better.
We have fun. Well,
Yeah,
she has fun.
It can be very hurtful when we're not able to say what we want to say, can't it?
I know.
Yeah.
I think that I should have about 20 minutes each week.
Oh. Well, maybe you and I could talk individually if that's something that you feel like you need.
Private counseling?
We can definitely talk about that. But we want to let everybody have an opportunity to participate, right? You wouldn't want anybody else to feel like they didn't have a chance.
And
No.
Ernie, if
I
I
love
may,
everyone.
Ernie, if I may, I can almost identify with what you're going through because I am in a similar type of enclosure as you are. I do have two others here with me, so it's not exactly the same as your situation, but it is rather similar, you know.
But you like the other two, don't you?
Well, we get along. We do. That is a large part of it, you know.
I've got a female elephant.
And you don't like her, I know, but
No,
I was going to say, just like you, Ernie, just like you don't feel like that you're always free to say something. My friend Sally that I told you about before, you know, she's the giraffe, and she's like the only one that for a long time, she was the only one that would really talk to me ever. Well, and she's the one actually who told me that I should have therapy to deal with my problems. Anyway, I was telling her that we were talking about freedom today, and she said that she felt like even though that we were, you know, not pinned up, because I told her about you, Reginald, and about you, Ernie, that even though we are, you know, free to roam like that in physical land, that a lot of times there's a bunch of us here, and she said that I'm better, but that I'm still not free as far as letting my emotions out and letting, you know, people, well, I say people, but, you know, you guys, the creatures that y'all all are, to really, you know, speak into me and that kind of thing, which I think I'm getting better, but I think that's a kind of freedom too that cannot be. I don't know if I'm communicating very well.
You are
very well.
Great job.
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, there's there's the physical freedom, and then there's the emotional and freedom, and then there's the mental freedom. There's all different levels of freedom. As a great philosopher once said, freedom is just another word for nothing else to do, you know. And so it comes in many different shapes and sizes.
I have freedom to do nothing. Is this what you're saying?
I wasn't saying that, no.
Oh, okay.
Well-
I am very confused still. I can go in, I can go out. It doesn't matter. Nobody's really pay attention to me, but I don't necessarily want to leave because I like the lady who gives me my food. She is very nice. I don't like the rest of them, but I can tell she is cat person. The rest of them here are no cat persons, except for the big guy. He is covered in fur. So you would think he would be a cat person, but he's not.
What's a cat person?
Somebody who understand how the cat think, how the cat work, what cat like. That's cat person.
Am I a cat person?
You're a cat elephant, yes.
Oh, are there elephant people?
I don't know because you don't have them in your house.
I wish I did.
Well,
You
it
want to
sounds
live
doesn't
in a
have a
people's
house.
house?
so anyway, Simone, it sounds like you have some freedom to
Yes,
go in and go out.
yes, I can
Sounds like you
leave.
have. Yeah.
If I want in the back of the house, there is a biggest door and a littlest door. And for example, this guy in the house, he calls it the dog's door, but it's clearly the cat's door because we don't have a dog anymore. But I can go in and out. He should call it cat's door.
Yeah.
You know what, Simone? I was thinking that Ronnie and Reginald, they both brought up some really good points. That freedom doesn't just mean physical freedom. Freedom can be emotional freedom, the freedom to be able to feel what we want to feel, and
Oh,
Freedom to
wait.
speak whenever I want to speak. That
I
that's
freedom.
saw
a certain
this.
kind of freedom.
No, doctor, I saw this on the TV. They were singing "Free Your Mind" and something else will follow. I don't know what the rest of this is, but something about being free in the mind. Is this what you're saying?
Yes, I would say that fits.
Okay, I will sing this song and then I will feel free. Free your
Okay.
mind.
Now, Donnie, what about you?
yeah.
What are some of the ways that you have experienced different kinds of freedom?
Oh well, being on the farm, as it were, there are limitations. As Reginald and Ernie have been talking about. My situation not quite as confined as they are. There's the barn and there's the yard. There's a fence around the yard, but still, I've got the ability to come in, go out, that sort of thing, and it's a big enough area. It is. It's a big enough area to be able to stretch my legs, as it were. But still, on the other hand, there are limitations. I'm not totally free. I can't just head for the hills, as it were. And when the farmer thinks it's time for me to actually do some work, then I have no choice, really, because he gets that cart and I get hooked up to it, and there you are. So you got to fulfill the duties, but then if I can get a little philosophical here, once you've done your requirements, the free time kind of means that much more. It feels a little more free because you've done the one and now you can do the other.
I'm sure. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Sparky, we haven't heard from you at all. What are some of the ways that you have experienced freedom in your life?
I'm not free.
Oh.
It doesn't feel that way sometimes, does it?
No, I don't live in a cage or at a zoo in a place or a barn or something like that. I don't live in a house, but I get in trouble if I fly around.
Now, why are they not letting you fly around? What is the problem you can't go?
Because they say that I'm going to tell that somebody will see me and then they'll come after us.
Oh, what would they do if they see you?
People kill dragons.
They do.
No.
So,
Sparky.
you know
I have the
what that
same
brings
problem.
up? That brings up such a good point. Freedom we all have the ability and the freedom to choose. You could defy your parents, I suppose, Sparky.
do
But
this.
if you did, there would be consequences to that.
Oh, then don't do
wouldn't
that. Yes, you don't want to get killed. That's no good.
there?
Then
None
what?
of us would
Well, they
want that.
wouldn't catch me, but my parents say they would.
But what
Yeah.
if they
Fly
caught
at
your
night.
parents? What if they caught your parents? What if they caught the egg?
They could take the egg. I don't care.
She does not like the egg.
And your mom?
You think the egg, they think the egg is more important to you, Sparky? Is this what?
They spend all their time paying attention to the egg.
Oh,
Daddy won't teach me flying anymore because he's busy with mom and the egg.
You should go back with Dr. Codswallop then, because you can learn to fly together and you can teach him.
Well, let's.
He can't. He won't talk to me.
Can I just say something?
Yes, of course, Ronnie.
Well, Sparky, I was just gonna say, one thing that I've really, and I didn't think of it as freedom till right now, but one thing that being here in this group has helped me do is learn how to dream a little bit. So even though, I don't have my parents with me anymore, and even though, I had such a bad time there for a while with everybody, I started just in my own mind, seeing things differently, and it's helped me to be different, kind of, and my world's become a little different, and I think that's got to maybe be defined as free too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think all of us, well, most of us here, we're not really free, except for Simone and Donnie. They live in the best of all possible worlds because they can just go. And yet if we're on the street, if Ronnie was on the street, or I was on the street, or Sparky or Reginald, they'd like shoot us with a dart gun and put us back in our cages.
No.
Oh, they wouldn't shoot me.
Can't
with a
go,
dart
but
gun.
Donnie can kick his fence and he can run free forever, and nobody can tell
Now,
Donnie what to do because he's
I
popular.
disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with Ernie. I appreciate your opinion. You got one, and I appreciate it, and you share it, and that's wonderful. But
Run, Donnie,
from
run.
personal experience, let me tell you I'll try to make it a quick one. It's a quick story. There was one day early on at the farm when the fence was not in the best of shape, and a few of us were kind of playing around with it, and boom, down it went. And so there we went, because it was a chance. It was a chance to get out and to run around. But trust me, they were on my tail, literally, and it didn't take long. And then I was back in the fence. So,
But you're faster. Aren't you faster?
There was something on your tail.
Well,
this is
yeah,
what he
said.
said.
To a degree. They were chasing me. They were like right behind me. And in fact, that's how they got me. One of the farmhands, young guy, kind of quick. He did. That's what he did. He just kind of grabbed me by the tail, and that's how they got me. And trust
Why
me,
did they do this?
well, because I
know.
was making a break for it, as the farmer said.
This is wrong.
And so, but trust me, you get yanked on the tail, you don't run very fast. So yeah, I had to give it up. I had to give it up.
And all of our actions, I think, Donnie, you bring up a really good point, that all of our actions, they bring about consequences to those actions, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what, Ernie, if you wanted to, you would have the freedom to just stomp all over your keepers. You were big enough and leave. But you've said many times, you don't want to stomp over anyone.
I don't want to kill anything.
No.
My fences are
And so
too big.
you make a choice. You are free to make that choice. And I'm so proud of you that you make that.
But Donnie
That's a
can
good
do
choice,
it
though,
at night.
Ernie, not
He
to
can
kill.
do it at night. He can look at night when nobody's
Well,
there. Kick
maybe
the
that's
fence
something
and
we can talk about
run.
next time. Maybe that's something we can talk about next time. But you know what? I want to go back to Reginald, Now, Reginald, we started talking with you. You opened up very early on. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about the freedoms that you've experienced and how difficult that is sometimes.
Well, it can be. It can be when you've got one set of experiences. Like, for instance, in my younger days, I actually did live out of doors, out on the savannah. I believe is what the humans refer to it as. And in my younger days, that's where I was, and I had a physical freedom at that time to run,
were here.
as Ernie so eloquently put it, to just run wherever.
Those
And
were
not
the
have to worry
days,
about
right,
it.
Reginald? Those were the days.
You were
Well,
here
to
on
a
the
degree.
savannah.
Yes, but that was many, many, many years ago, Ronnie. I'm not sure if you were there at the time.
Me too.
However, I must say, it was very difficult to get along, to survive out there, because of, well, my condition, as it were. Not being able to navigate the higher elevations successfully, you know.
It
And
wasn't
so
because
upon,
of the hippos.
I'm sorry.
Hippos, didn't they keep you from being free? That was my only
No,
problem.
no. It wasn't the hippos at all. It was my own difficulties, as it were. But once I was, for lack of a better term, captured and brought into the zoo enclosure, I was able to enjoy my life just the slightest bit more, giving up the ability to run at a moment's notice and trading it in for a little more reliable source of sustenance, you know.
Trading it in.
Make a bit of a difference.
What a good way to put that, Reginald, that you traded in one freedom for a different freedom that you actually appreciated more.
Oh yes, but it's not always that way. If I may, Sparky, right now I understand that you don't feel that you have freedoms as far as your parents are concerned. But one thing you need to know is that your parents do these things to keep you safe because of their love and concern for you. And right now, you may not see that. In our younger days, we don't always see that very clearly, you know. But if it's any consolation, trust me, you will appreciate it much more as the years go by.
Well, I'm safe from hippos, so I guess I traded in having hippos charge me in the water hole to having my own water hole.
And Ernie, they feed you and they give you nice mud bath, which you like very much. So there's good stuffs.
That's my guilty pleasure. Mud baths. Oh, I love them.
Now, Monsignor, I'm wondering, what are some of your thoughts about freedom that we've kind of talked about? Do you have anything you'd like to add about your own experiences with freedom?
I do, and I wasn't really sure why I was in the room, to tell you the truth. I just thought it was fun, and I ate bananas. But I love hearing people's stories about freedom, their experience with that. I'm not sure I completely understand some of the entrapments and some of the challenges of not being free. And I apologize that I don't have that understanding.
Are you free?
I'm crazy free.
He goes around this whole temple anytime he likes, and they bring him food. What's better than this?
So rather similar, Simone, to your situation then.
Yes. What is your question, Big Reginald Giraffe?
No, I was just saying that the Monseigneur is a similar situation to what you are living in as well.
I suppose
Freedom
so,
to roam the
but
house.
he say that people cannot come into the temple, and here I cannot get the peoples out. So it's not
Cats
safe.
can come in the
Oh.
temple. We have lots of cats in the temple and dogs.
Well, of course you do. Cats are the best. I would like to go back to where just me and the lady who brings me my food was living here before all these other peoples. This was perfect to me. She was so nice to me. She's such a cat person. And if I ever feel stressing out, she gives me this stuff called catnip. Oh, it's the best. But don't take too much, because one time I had too much and they end up backyard underneath the bird feeder, and there was feathers everywhere. So I don't know what happened, but I must have had some fun. But it made me very relaxed. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Oh,
I never did it, but sounds like those were the days.
I can bring you some catnip, Ernie, if you stress
Okay.
out. Just
Okay.
don't
No,
take
don't
too
do it.
much.
Don't do it. Trust me.
I would like that.
I
Dr.
wouldn't do it
McFoxy.
because we got a couple of cats around the barn.
I would like
Now
that.
let's
What is catnip?
all quiet down. Our
Dr.
we have some-
McFoxy,
wants to speak here.
it sounds like we are all feeling different levels of security. It sounds like we are all feeling challenged in different ways about our safety. I wonder, to ponder an idea of safety and security might be something to help us in our enclosures, whether they be physical, personal. I'll let the group, we have about 2 minutes before the next session.
I have an idea. I said it last week and I still think it's true. The one thing that we all have in common is that people are problems. We put them in their cars. If every human was locked in a car and all they did was throw food to us, we would be happy and free.
Ernie, only some peoples, the peoples who are not elephant peoples and the peoples who are not cat peoples, they can go. But you need the peoples who take care of you. They
can throw us food. They can throw us food outside the car window.
It was the peoples that killed my parents. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the peoples that are in the cars that come by and they like, I don't know, they make everybody run because they're so noisy.
Oh, so cars aren't a good place to lock them up.
And if the peoples were locked
Then
up,
it would be hard to eat 'em.
Sparky could go and fly around anywhere she like, right? It's the people you are scared of.
Wait, teamwork.
I'm not scared of the peoples, but my mom and dad are scared of the people.
Well, they have seen more than you have. Then
it sounds like we're all feeling, a little bit of discomfort, especially where people are concerned with our level of security, and maybe some of the things that we're feeling secure about or insecure about. Is that something you would like to talk about next week?
We could all join together and then we'd be the Avengers. We could all together use our strengths to defeat the humans. We have Sparky and we have me and Ronnie. We're big, we can trample, and there's all types of strengths if we work together.
I am very good. Ernie, I am very good at planning.
Destroy the people.
Ernie, but the thing is, Ernie, we don't want to hurt anyone.
No.
Only a couple of them, not everybody.
Can we destroy or lock them up without hurting them?
We put them in the zoo and we go outside. They're in the zoo and we look at them and throw them peanuts.
I love it. I love it.
This is good.
It's
good. Simone, I have a feeling that lots of people feel like they are in a zoo.
Oh.
How is that?
Dr. McFoxy.
Yes.
I believe you have come upon a very good point. People And the insecurity that they feel might be similar to some of the challenges our creatures have in our EITR sessions. Could I suggest that we ponder people over this next week?
I think so.
They don't say they're in a zoo. They say they're in a circus.
Oh
At
yeah.
my house.
With lots of ducks.
A circus is with like flying monkeys with little ballerina dresses on, and the elephants are doing juggling. This is a
Senior,
circus.
do
Not
you do
fun
a
for an
circus?
elephant.
I'd wear a ballerina dress if you want me to.
Yeah, just for
Oh.
skirts, you know, it's pretty, you know.
So
sparkly.
accommodating, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. It's been such a good time with all of you. And Sparky, just one little piece of encouragement, just continue to try holding on this week. I know that it's hard. I know that it's hard, especially when a new creature is joining the home. But we love you. I'm sure your parents love you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're so happy you're a part of this group.
Yes.
We like
We
that.
are one, and Avengers to the rescue
Yay! Here we go.
against the humans.
I like this.
End scene. Okay.
Are we still live? Yeah.
Yes, we
on
we
YouTube.
are. And
On
Kristen
YouTube.
muted herself. I didn't do it. She should have laughed out loud, but she couldn't keep up with Bob. Okay.